Warning: the following audio may contain coarse language and other materials that may not be suitable for a younger audience. The opinions expressed in this audio are solely those of the speakers involved. These conversations may contain spoilers for current media such as games, comics, movies, television shows, and more. Chronic Geeks makes no claim to ownership of the various media discussed, simply the opinions expressed. Listener discretion is advised.
All right. What's going on, people? Another Wednesday, another weigh-in Wednesday.
Hey.
We are Grown A Geeks. This is Weigh-In Wednesday. You are awesome for being here. Tonight's episode, FanCastIt. We're doing another FanCastIt, and this is actually a requested FanCastIt. One of our members spoke out and was like, man, y'all should, because with the recent announcement that they're going to be doing a reboot of Street Fighter.
And that Street Fighter 6 is right around the goddamn corner.
You know, just right there together. You just did was the tournament you did, was that on Street Fighter?
That was Street Fighter 5, yeah.
See, it's just all
Hold
things
up,
Street Fighter.
Let me switch up real quick. Hold up. There we go. Gotta do that real quick.
Okay.
Gotta do that real quick. Hold up. There we go. Much better. Much better. It's more appropriate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that one say there?
I'm tired.
Lay down.
I just feel like I've been going.
You have been going all day. Go lay down. I'm doing a
All day
thing.
yesterday.
I'm doing a thing. Go lay down.
Tell her we say hello.
Eat
Get
the
some
sandwich.
rest. And we'll holler at her next week.
Sam says hi. Huh?
Have some sandwich.
I'm okay. I'm gonna get something later. I'm not hungry.
Like I want to eat it, but I don't want to eat it.
Then don't eat it. Put it right there. If you feel like eating it, you can eat it later. I'll put it in the window. I'll put it in the fridge later. I'll do something with it later. It's fine. It's fine.
only because
lay down.
Because she
relax.
knows she's live right now.
You're good. You're
okay.
okay. Go lay down.
Handheld should be good.
Okay, good.
I get it. It's because you're live right now.
Okay, good.
And that is
Give it here.
one of our
I'll put
other
it-
hosts,
I'll give it here.
Linda. She's
All right.
normally on, and she's going to take a break this week. She's having.
I'm gonna go eat the dog's brain.
All right, we gonna let them get that worked out, and he'll give me a thumbs up when everything's good for him. Cool. That is
We're
all
good.
All right. Okay.
We're good.
No, it's
Just,
fine.
A burst of tired energy, apparently.
I get it. I know how that is, but we'll catch her next week. We are going to have Ty's going to jump on a little bit later, but Linda's going to take this week off, and she go relax, chill, recuperate, and she'll be up and ready because we may mix it up because I think I know there's a couple of things we want to do, like I was thinking for the next music episode, we may skip the music episode and do a D&D episode for that one. As it kind of came up, that was something. And that, because since that's a fourth week, or actually we could probably even do the D&D on our third week because week 3 is an open week. So we can keep our open week, let that be the D&D, and then week 4 could stay music. Because there's still so much we can do with music. So
Yeah, it still works.
yeah, we'll keep music in there. Maybe we'll make it third week. So maybe next week we'll just play around with some D&D stuff. Talk about characters. I was going to get Mari to see if I can get him. Now it's funny because usually he works on Wednesdays, but he may be available to be our DM, and so we'll have somebody there to handle all of our kill that mic there. Somebody to handle all of our DM stuff that's necessary. Let's see, get that caught up. And I know Jeff had mentioned doing some different stuff. But this week we are doing FanCastIt. This week's FanCastIt is Street Fighter, and we're going to get into our cast. We have a selection of characters. It'll be the three of us are here. We're going to have one more person join us. And Street Fighter was one of the FanCastIt ideas that was suggested by our group members. And so that came up, and we talked about a couple of things that we could do. So we decided this week we're going to forego the list that we previously made, and we're going to go with Street Fighter. So we'll be casting out Street Fighter here in just a bit.
I think we had Street Fighter on the list, but it just wasn't up next. We moved it to the front of the list.
It did make it to the front of the list, and that along with the notice that we've got Street Fighter about to come out. Like we just talked about, David just had a Street Fighter tournament, and there's been a lot of talk around Street Fighter here lately. So it was perfect to go ahead and jump on this one and do it. I would say
it's Street Fighter, man. It's Street Fighter.
Yeah. So we're gonna I say what we're gonna wait for Ty. We're gonna let Ty jump in here in a little bit. When Ty comes in, we'll come back and we'll go to those characters. We'll go through the list.
Maybe we should. Can we just talk? Maybe we could talk about which characters did you fall in love with Street Fighter?
There's plenty to talk about with Street Fighter in the meantime. So I actually went and did a full chronological story of Street Fighter to try to figure out, to kind of help motivate why this character, why that character, and why would I pick this actor for that role and stuff like that to have a better understanding, because I didn't know. I knew a little bit here and there because the games don't really go in depth with it. And
that could be cool to talk about too, because I think when we get into picking the characters, a lot of times we try to throw that in. But if you want to kind of talk about it, because I got kind of an idea about mine too. It's not a full in-depth story, but I was thinking about what style movie I would want to style it after, and how you're gonna get all these people from all over the world to a space where it's they're fighting each other in China, and then they're fighting each other in Brazil, and they're fighting each other in a fish market in the USA. Right. You know what I mean?
How do we incorporate beating up the car and breaking the barrel?
Yeah. No, just because it's the thing
that.
the thing about I just actually watched the Honest trailer, and it was basically that's one of the complaints about the movie. It's there are hardly any street fights in the movie Street Fighter. There's hardly any real good fights at all. Yeah. And it's a classic, what's the podcast? How Did This Get Made? One of their classic episodes of Street Fighter. And it's literally an hour and a half into the podcast. One of the hosts, she's just what is a Street Fighter? Because she never played the game. So her introduction to Street Fighter was the movie.
Ooh.
And it's just well, yeah, of course you wouldn't know what a Street Fighter is if your introduction is the movie, because whatever this convoluted shit that they made. Yeah. All right, so if you want to talk about yours.
Well, and for me, like I said, I just to have a better understanding of who I would want to cast in different parts and different roles. I, of course, as you can do with anything, I went on and I found a video where somebody did a full, Hadouken. I went and found a full walkthrough of the timeline of, the story. Right.
Oh boy.
Ryukin, Goken, and how we got to Akuma, who he is, what Akuma means, and how Sagat is involved, how M. Bison got here, who Balrog is, why is Vega here. And then eventually I got around to where we get Chun-Li and Guile and Charlie. And, there's all this other stuff that I did not know the full canon involved with Street Fighter. And it was like, it was an hour of somebody just explaining the story of Street Fighter. And I was like, bruh, what? I
don't care about none of that.
Yeah, I was very confused. But it did cover at least the basis of the characters that we've selected to cast. And that was helpful. And I did not realize, like, 3 of the characters are very closely related. One of the characters is kind of a anti-hero. He's a bad guy, but for good reason, and has his own personal motives. He goes into a dark place, falls with the wrong crowd, but ultimately he's a good guy, kind of thing. And of course, that made me think. I was like, dang, just for that reason, we should have kept Zangief in, because just because you are a bad person does not mean that you are a bad person.
Right.
And so but I mean, there's so many characters that and Street Fighter could actually do a number of movies.
Mhm.
I was looking at it just from a pure martial arts action movie.
Same. I just want a bunch of fights.
Yeah. And I mean, this was, and when you kind of follow the original story, it's like everybody just keeps hosting major martial arts tournaments. You know, you got the character Ryu, who just wants to fight the strongest people to avenge his master. And you know,
so this is like your story for your movie.
Oh no, this is the canon for.
Oh,
well, David, help me out here. I
don't care about that. I want to hear your movie.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, like
goddamn.
Street Fighter has had 30 whatever years to make a good movie. They ain't did it yet, so maybe we need to get these ideas out into the universe. Maybe through
just put them
some
out
sort of osmosis, internet osmosis. It can get to somebody who can make some good choices for this IP, because it's my favorite fighting game, even though I haven't played it in years, but it was my favorite fighting game with all the fighting games I used to play like growing up. And I loved the art style. I loved it. Like, there was kind of a backstory that I didn't really like understand, because I wasn't good enough to like beat the game with enough characters. So it was crazy. Like, I was just like, this is cool, but it was one of those games where it was like, you know, for a lot of us, and I think on the black side of the gaming community, it's like it's a lot of 2-player games. It's a lot of head-to-head games, like whether it's Madden or FIFA or NBA Live, now 2K. And for Street Fighter, it was either you were either a Street Fighter player or a Mortal Kombat player for a lot of people.
Alex knows what I'm doing.
Right.
Oh, yeah. No, when I say that, Alex, I don't include the animated movies in that. I'm talking about with live action people.
The Jean-Claude Van Damme fiasco is the reference here.
And the Chun-Li movie as well. We're not letting Kristen Kruk escape.
Yeah, that was
You're not getting off scot-free now.
That one was bad.
Let me change my list real quick. No, I'm kidding.
You want to talk about pissing off a theater full of people? It'll be like the opposite of Spider-Man when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire showed up.
Everybody was like cheering. This
like if Kristen Kruk came out of a portal, people throwing popcorn at the screen.
That's wild.
Just like literally get up and start walking out. That would be
immediate refund.
That says like, I think there's something wrong with the movie. Kristen Kruk just showed up as Chun-Li.
Right.
I might be watching the wrong movie. It's not what I asked for. No, honestly, my movie is probably still going to stay very similar to the basic concept of the story. It is, we have to have an excuse for fights, but it is still going to follow the basics of Ryu and Ken grow up together, fight Sagat. Sagat loses. He teams up with Bison, Balrog, and Vega. They try to take over the world. Mm-hmm. Chun-Li gets involved there. And as a result, we now have the good guys versus the bad guys. And it would be almost in the same vein. It would be like one big showdown towards the end. but it'll be a lot of like random henchmen getting beat up because when you do that whole like someone's trying to take over the world,
You got to have your jobbers.
you're right. You got to have like ads to get beat up. You got to have like the faceless goons that you can
And some of
send
them are
out.
gonna
and
be
raise.
some of them are gonna be characters from the game. Like everybody don't need a real story.
No, I mean like, and honestly, even the
Like
characters in the
DJ,
game.
you could just be a dude that get beat up.
Hey, nah. We're not doing DJ like that. We're
not doing DJ like that. And I mean, I think like that would be the good thing to do for like Easter eggs and fan service to like have, maybe somebody in the background at a tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like have some people in the background fighting and let them be characters dressed appropriately. You know what I'm saying? That way the sharp-eyed viewer can be like, oh, wait, is that Sakura fighting Dan? Like, wait, hey, and being able to see those people. Like your DJ, he would be the kind of character that would like really stand out on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, and I'm not saying he would just be a dude that gets kicked off screen in my movie.
Aggressively Jamaican, all right?
he would have like a one-on-one fight. He just wouldn't have no backstory. Like here's the first time we see him is walking to the ring with some.
I was about to say that would be a tournament fighter.
On a boombox.
Right, that would be a tournament fighder. So
but you're not on the team, dog.
Yeah, like you didn't make the cut, but you showing up and we know who you are. And
so
I think
what style, what style, like genre wise or like director wise, you feel like you would want to go with?
I would probably go with like Sammo Hung directing for a classic martial arts movie. I want like real fight choreography because you have characters like this is what they do. Like Ryu ain't got a job; he just fight. You know what I'm saying? So he spends all his time fighting. It needs to look right. That fight needs to be flawless.
For sure.
Ken is just as good, but a little flashier. So he's gonna look a little sloppier. But he's about that life. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't even say sloppier. I would say he gonna do the extra stuff. Like you know how like a regular person just take a jump shot, they jump straight up and down. This Ken fade away. Fade away spin. It's gonna go in, but he got a lot more to do. He gonna do a lot more before so Ryu is just like efficiency.
Right. One bounce pass, chest pass, fundamentals. Fundamentals win games. Yeah, I could definitely see him being flashy.
Tim Duncan.
Right. So okay, well, based
at least
on
at the beginning of the movie.
Do what?
I say at least at the beginning of the movie.
Right. Well, I mean, he'll have to go back to his fundamentals at the end because it's do a whole Karate Kid bit where we're just going to practice our form and that's going to help us win because no one knows how to block, a regular kata. Like that's crazy. So based on that same question, David, what was your motivation, your theme, what helped you select your characters, or how did you get to where we are?
So, really, I'm just coming at it from just as a Street Fighter fan. It was just a fighting game fan in general. Just like if I'm basically going about it is like if I were to cast like a more realistic Street Fighter, like a game, like who would I go for? Like what names am I looking for? What kind of director am I looking for? So it's not like it's very surface level, but I think it works just because, as far as direction goes, I think that's what the movie would really need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would you follow again? Would you kind of follow the canonical story of Street? I'm air quoting for those of you who are listening. The canonical story of Street Fighter, or
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, I would take some liberties here and there, but yeah, no, I'm absolutely following the canonical story because it's a good story. It's a really good story. That I don't think has really been done justice, like in movies anyway, aside from like the animated ones. Some fan projects have done it pretty good, but as far as like official like theatrical releases, I don't think they've actually stuck the landing, I guess.
But that's because, and I would argue that's probably falls into the same categories. Like, first of all, they probably turned on the game and just looked at the cast of characters and did the casting based on that.
Yeah.
They played a few rounds to see to see some fights. And outside of that, they probably asked like their nephew, younger brother, or something like that. Like, who's the best character? Why do people like this? Guy off the street kind of thing. And whatever that person knew, that's what they focused on.
Right.
It didn't get the love and attention of someone like yourself who is a fighting game fan. And I feel like that same kind of thing. And I think sometimes that's where animation kind of improves upon live action, because it takes a long time to draw that stuff.
Yes.
And the kind of people who are in animation are the kind of people who loves all that stuff anyway. Or if they don't love that IP, they love an IP enough to understand, like, you have to show certain things respect and they're able to have empathy for the fan.
Yeah. I would definitely be interested though to see casting based solely, like, so here's a weird question. David, when you did your casting, were you casting them as the video game characters or were you casting them for a movie?
Yes.
And I mean, I guess to clarify, I was taking certain actors and actresses' star power into account, screen presence into account, and because when we did, when my cousin picked another person's list over mine because of one person, I thought about that. I was like, okay, so there will be no more missing out on having the right casting.
You gotta let it go, Sam.
No, I still. But again, it was one of those, like, I would have watched that movie, and so of course I'm thinking, like, what is a movie I would want to watch? I would want to hear certain names, and that would be like, ooh, I want to see that. They're in this, and that was where my casting. With you being a gamer and thinking about it from a fighting game player perspective, was your casting more focused on taking video game characters and bringing them to life?
Right. So for that, it's actually kind of a tricky question, because obviously I'm going to want to take into account like the video game counterparts, but I got to have somebody that knows how to act on screen. I can't just throw a voice actor in there and be like, yeah, just go ahead and do a Tatsumaki real quick. I appreciate you. So there's certain things that you have to take into account. But as far as like direction goes, I'm going for an action movie, but I want it to stay faithful to the canonical story of the games.
Okay. It's just, I guess one of the things that comes to mind is like, I tried to really not be influenced by the Street Fighter movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my movie's nothing like the Street Fighter movie.
Oh no, I mean it's definitely not, but like with the main character in that being Guile.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and because Jean-Claude Van Damme was Guile, that was the main character. When you take something like a G.I. Joe, the first G.I. Joe, Channing Tatum was Duke. Therefore, he was kind of the focus. But then later on, The Rock took over the franchise, and it was like now Heavy Duty was the main character, And so
they basically blew him up in a barrel.
And so it's like, thinking about it, I would still want like my Ryu. I want Ryu to still kind of be the focus, to follow the story from his perspective. And
well, so now there's actually another angle that I'm going through with my cast.
Same.
Because Ryu is the poster boy, yes. But there are so many A and B plots in Street Fighter that are just as important as the other lettered plots. That it's kind of hard to just focus on one character, especially with the ones that we have have now.
Right. And see, like I said, after having gone through this whole, any one of these people could get a spin-off movie.
Yes. Because like, yeah, Ryu's the main character, but Chun-Li has a direct tie to Bison
Yeah.
because Bison killed her dad. So we got to do something about that.
Right.
Ken is integral to Ryu's story. Ryu's integral to Ken's story.
Yep.
Guile is Guile. He's there. He's cool. He's American. We love that. Cool.
America.
Exactly. Yeah. Of course, he got the best theme in video gaming ever, of course. But it's just there's a lot to take into account with a property like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Jeff, you presented the question. Now give us your take. So how's that work
basically, in terms of how the movie looks and feels, I wanted to feel like the OG Ninja Turtles movie. Like I wanted to have that like Lethal Weapon, like New Line Cinema, gritty, like man on the street kind of feel. You know what I mean? This is not, I don't want this to be some like Marvel movie. I wanted to feel like Super Cop, you know what I mean? Just in the tones and how it looks and feels, and even in like the score a little bit.
So you realize you're just making the Street Fighter movie again, right?
No.
But he's taking the animated movie and making it live action. That sounds what he's doing here.
But what I'm talking about. So in terms, yeah, true. In terms of looks, yes. But in terms of story, I think what I'm doing so basically the way mine is set up is like there's these tournaments set up all around the world, fight tournaments, right? It's a circuit. And my M. Bison is kind of like my Vince McMahon of these fight circuits, right? So that's like his like front for like, it's basically like WWE is like a front for like Shadowloo.
Okay.
So
which it kind of
we got our bad guys. Yeah. So we got our bad guys, and basically all my bad guys that are listed here are gonna be like Big Boss A, Big Boss B, Big Boss C before you have to fight in Bison at the end. Okay. So basically my Guile, I have him set up as basically he goes to like a tournament, right? We know why Ryu and Ken in a tournament. They just trying to beat, they want to fight. Like, right. But then also Chun-Li is in this tournament. She's like undercover trying to go through this tournament circuit to get close to Bison. Mm-hmm. Guile comes in undercover as well as like a sponsor and basically brings them all in on his like mission. But he's like fronting as like, oh yeah, I'm like an energy drink sponsor or whatever. And that's how these fighters are getting like paid to go to all these tournaments and stuff like that. And they just like win their way up the tournament. As they hit each tournament, they doing like the fighting during the day, espionage at night, and then, you know, final scene. And my Bison is going to be kind of just like man in the shadows. He's recognizable enough to where, you know, people would probably recognize his voice a little bit and maybe even his silhouette. But I don't know. I got some like major reveal stuff probably happening at the end with him too. But
okay. You know what? I like the change.
Because I wanted to focus on the team. Like I was thinking like best of the best and how it's like, yeah, like what David was saying, like everybody kind of has like their personal vendettas, their personal reasons that they're doing stuff, but there is like that underlying like global threat element in Street Fighter 2 that I feel like they just focused too much on that in the first movie where it was like basically a war movie. Mm-hmm. And so when you're making a war and a spy movie, you don't have time for like fighting. I'm making a fighting movie and, you know, blood sport, all that kind of stuff.
We've got another guest here. Hey.
Hey,
yo.
We've got Ty. What's going on, man? Welcome.
Thank you.
A little bit of preliminary discussion here. And we'll present the question to you here in just a moment. I think I have a better way to ask. We're going to let Jeff finish up, and then we'll jump in and let you give your spiel. But yeah, I like that concept as far as that makes a little bit more sense to like focus in on the fighting. You can do some almost like blood sport, where the whole thing is centered around a tournament, but then Frank Dukes has that time, like when they're not in the ring, you have some scenes where he's like visiting a dude in the hospital, he's going out to eat, the FBI is running behind, so I could definitely see that working out.
And I feel like too that gives me the opportunity to add more characters who are not like characters who we're going to give a backstory to. Like DJ can fight Chun-Li in like the first like round of fights, wherever that is, and he'll lose. He's out of here, but we got to see DJ fight on screen and do his move for all the people who love DJ, and just do that with like some of the other characters people don't really like care about like the backstory to. And then if we need to, we can do DJ origins or bring him back. Like he's not dying.
He said DJ
you know
origins. Ain't that
I'm with it.
He can come back in the second movie as like, I've been training and I'm back to get revenge or whatever, but revenge of DJ. But
no, I mean it makes sense. And if
DJ Strikes Back,
Street Fighter Sobot Festival.
I mean that works, and we set this up right, and that could go a couple of different ways there. Okay, so Ty, what we were doing, we were kind of looking at what was the overall vision for your movie, because of course that typically helps influence your casting, obviously. What was the overall vision of the movie? What was the tone, and like the story type? And short recap for mine, as I had gone through and done all the research on just the storyline of Street Fighter, I was like, you know what? I'm not messing with that. Let's just keep it as it is. But I'm looking at a more classic martial arts film, something like Sammo Hung direction, in terms of the fighting, because I want very crisp, well choreographed fights, and that to kind of be the focus of the movie. It is an action movie, but it is focusing more on this story, and it's like that. The student is getting revenge for the master and going that path. My focus character, of course, was going to be Ryu, or Ryu, whoever you choose, but. That was going to be my focus character. So the movie for me kind of takes place from his perspective. I like the way David is kind of doing the same thing, but has a different angle for it. And Jeff is coming with an entirely, not really reimagined, but
it sounded like Street Fighter's version of Mortal Kombat. There was tournaments. And kind of progressing that way.
But it makes sense, and that is a good way to modernize this story, and I like that,
because you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm a dude that just like everywhere I go I end up fighting people.
right because at some point,
that
like
could
in
be like
the real
that
world,
could be a
at some
Netflix
point,
series,
right? At some point, that's just the TV show Kung Fu.
The
fight of the week.
Facts. Hercules.
Right, the legendary adventure. I mean, it's like it has to make sense. So Ty, what was your motivation? How did you go about this casting?
So I went at this from a series standpoint. So not a fight of the week. What I had envisioned was Street Fighter meets the first season of Heroes, where you have these different stories are being told and they get interweaved as you find out that all of them are involved in this in some way. So, of course, you have Chun-Li going after M. Bison because he killed her father. You have Ryu, who is trying to get revenge for his master being murdered. And you have Ken joining him on that. You have Guile, who's being sent on a mission from the military. You have all these different stories that get interwoven. What is Alex saying?
for Street Fighter movie. So Alex's question, he says, because of going to so many locations across the globe, I wonder if a Street Fighter movie, kind of along the lines of Indiana Jones, would be interesting, where there's a MacGuffin that both sides are looking for and have to go through fights at the locations they visit. Add in the mystical elements and have Akuma be the big bad. Okay,
I would do that as a second movie.
That's a sequel.
Yeah, Akuma is the post-credit or like in-credit scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get to all of that good stuff. We'll get to all of that good stuff. But yeah, I mean that's absolutely the way that it can be set up, and truthfully, like there are 5, soon to be 6 main games, not to mention all of the. How many Street Fighter games are there total, David? Any? What's a quick guess?
Do you really want that number?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, is it like 12?
Oh,
including Marvel versus Capcom?
I'm not including Marvel versus Capcom. Oh, it's a lot. Hold on. I'm gonna get a rough number for you, but it's a lot.
And it's because they have, like, I mean, you go back to just the original Street Fighter, and then you have Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2, like Champion Edition, Street Fighter 3, EX Alpha, Championship Turbo 2, Championship Alpha EX3 Turbo 4. Like, I mean, it gets ridiculous. And somewhere along the way, they have so many crossovers with, like, characters from
Street
like,
Fighter
schools.
EX plus A. What?
Right. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, even some of the other characters that come
Street
in.
Fighter game or chemical compound.
Right. It's like
so there are roughly, if you count everything that has the Street Fighter name in it, you have roughly around 40 titles.
40 titles.
Including Street Fighter 6 that's about to come out.
So there is a plethora of story there.
Half of those are Street Fighter 2.
And that's the funny part.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
That's the funny part because and that's what, like, I had to like sit and watch this thing over and over and over because there was some stuff that happened, but then it gets retconned in another game later. And then like the game Street Fighter 3 actually takes place in a different time period than Street Fighter 4. So like Street Fighter 4 is the sequel to Street Fighter 2 in terms of storyline. But Street Fighter 3 takes place at a separate point after the events of Street Fighter 4. And
this shit complicated.
Right. It really does get complicated.
That's why I ignored all that. I'm like,
right.
Y'all got 47 games. Somehow y'all got 47 games, but Street Fighter 6 is coming out. Y'all got 46 games. Street Fighter 47 should be coming out. Y'all don't have y'all stuff together, so I'm not paying attention. I'm taking.
Right.
I would just take the skeletal structure of,
and that was
fighting in different locations. This is the big bad. There's a global organization. These guys are the henchmen.
Yeah.
These other guys.
It actually
have this motivation, and we'll go from there.
It works out very well. Keep it simple, and if you get down to just the bare bones story, just getting to M. Bison, you could like literally save M. Bison for the end of the movie and still tell like a great story before you even have to get to him.
So sorry, real quick. If we're not talking about all the like the re-releases and everything that has the Street Fighter name in it, if we're just talking like straight up like series of games, it's about 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. But all these re-releases have, lore and all that stuff that's been added into it. It's there's Street Fighter is eternal. It will never end.
Right. But it is funny that we're only at Street Fighter 6 despite all of that. Like, we haven't advanced. They just add one thing in. They come up with a new character, and then that character gets backstory. And so there's a whole new game.
That's not what happens.
It's just, I can't keep up with it. I'm done with that part. I found the core story, and I was like, that works. It's a Revenge of the Master kind of thing, and we can do that. And there's some.
So in your movie, in everybody's movie,
Easter eggs.
Who defeats M. Bison in everybody's movie?
Who says he gets defeated?
I mean, well, you got to roll the credits at some point. Sam, I know your Superman loving behind is not making no movie where M. Bison wins at the end.
No, I didn't. Not necessarily that he wins, but not necessarily that he loses, because M. Bison is a major character, but he doesn't have to be the big bad.
Okay. Is he a big bad or not? You gonna have M. Bison in the movie and him not fight?
In this one, yes.
Okay.
I've got it figured out.
I hope they don't get hold of your studio PO box. You'll get some angry letters.
Nah, I mean, you know what? If you can show Darkseid on screen and he ain't got to do nothing, he ain't got to hit no laser beams.
Hold on. I got something real quick. So Alex
Did
said,
that work?
I'm looking at Alex's comment right here. It said, I gave up on story when I thought Street Fighter 2 V was supposed to be a prequel to the Street Fighter 2 movie, but it doesn't line up. So I'm gonna kind of blast everybody right now. So if you can follow the story of Pulp Fiction, you can follow the story of Street Fighter.
Yeah,
it's basically laid out like Pulp Fiction. Literally.
Okay.
I can see that.
You got 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. So it's like that. So yeah, or like,
so the events,
like
things
1,
that happen
2,
here happen
5,
there.
1, 2, 5, 4, 3, something like that. Yeah, and then alpha and all that stuff. But yeah, if you can follow this story of Pulp Fiction or Kingdom Hearts, you can follow Street Fighter. No problem. I don't want to hear it.
Now, Kingdom Hearts is another interesting one. So, that was like, ooh, okay.
And Kingdom Hearts is not even hard to follow. It's just a lot of shit. That's
it.
Yeah.
A lot
That's
of story.
all it is. It's just a lot of shit going on. And also, canonically, Donald Duck is the strongest mage in the Final Fantasy universe. So, yeah, there you go.
That's amazing.
That is good.
Okay.
Every game is canon.
Let's see. So, I'm gonna have to go through my story, and I think the casting will kind of make a little bit of sense with that. So, we have it set up where we've got our list of characters. Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Guile, Vega, Balrog, Sagat, and Bison. And the generator already created the order in which we'll be going. So Jeff will be starting this one. I will be following Jeff, then Ty, and then David.
The people can go in any order. Just
I know, but since you already had this list up and formatted, I was like, we'll just go with that. That keeps it simple, and I can keep up with the order as it gets filled in.
Yeah,
and it'll make it easy for you. Boom, 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 boom. I would say we draw straws, but there's not straws to draw. Okay, so we're starting off with Ryu. So was Ryu everyone's main character in this?
Because of the TV series, I wasn't going for just one main character.
Okay.
Kind of with the heroes, you had multiple stories being followed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is more of a team-based thing. Like I said, like best of the best. But Ryu is not the person who defeats the big bad in my movie.
Okay.
Same.
But he does have he has his own big bad fight, but it's not the big bad fight.
Right. And mine is kind of the same. Like I don't have one particular main character. Well, I have two. Like Chun-Li and Ryu are the main characters of mine.
Okay.
Because of how their stories are structured. So it's kind of a dual story setup.
Okay.
Same.
And well, with Ryu and Ken, that was going to be my primary. Those two, because I'm going with the avenging the master bit, and the movie will kind of open with like the montage of them training with the master, and at the beginning of the movie, they walk in to see their master. Like the opening segment will be them walking in to find their master.
Oh,
dead.
I just realized something, and I should have fought for it, and I didn't think about it until just now. We should have cast.
Fight.
Well, no, it's no. I would say like, damn, I should have like said like we need to put Dudley in there. Damn. I just thought of the perfect one.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe he makes a sequel. Maybe he makes a sequel.
Maybe he makes a sequel. I was like, I just thought of the perfect one for that one too. Shit.
Okay, because see, then if we start getting into all the characters like Seth,
I know that's why
that's a rabbit hole. We did good with our 8. We'll stick here.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we have to. I'm just like it just happened to me just now. Like fuck.
Gotcha. Okay, so Jeff, Ryu.
All right, so I know this might be controversial because this person, I'm snatching this person from another fighting franchise because I don't know why they made that character up for this person to play. But it was not necessary addition to the Mortal Kombat universe.
He was my second pick.
He will not be missed over there. We need him, brother. Come to Street Fighter, Louis Tan. That's who I'm casting.
Okay.
He was the lead in the last Mortal Kombat movie where they made up that random character for him, and I was just like, all right, whatever this is, bro. But he got I think he got the like. He does have the like stoicness, I think. First of all, he got to, everybody got to look good because, that's just part of marketing these days. And we know he can fight. We know he can do, powers-based fighting as well because we are going to have some Hadokens in my movie. We're not pretending like this not Street Fighter. So I think and he's got like kind of he's got that rugged enough look where it's like he really want to fight. Like he's not like I think there's like some martial artists or you see him in movies where it's like you're a I don't get hit fighter. And he's like
he's a tank,
but I'll fight. Like I'll fight, and you're gonna have to like really get me up off you once I get on you. So yeah, that's my pick. Plus he looks like he should be friends with who I picked as King. I had to keep that. I kept that in mind too because I didn't want it to be like because the guy who I was gonna pick. Well, I'm not gonna say I was gonna pick in case somebody else picked him, but he was too short to be friends with the Ken that I picked.
Mm-hmm. See, now what's funny is okay. So, well, I'm next. My Ryu. I went through and I decided, and I was looking, I was like, okay, you know what? I had a general theme of around the time frame that I wanted the movie to be, because it would be one of those things we see them here and then it'll be 20 years later. So I started focusing on kind of an age range that I wanted people and how everybody would move accordingly. You know what? I was very impressed and I wanted a good martial artist, but I wanted somebody who could do the necessary acting and give me the emotional range. Simu Liu. Like that was
he was my original pick before I changed.
That was who I was gonna pick.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it was like I looked at a couple of like some of the leading men and whatnot, but because this is going to be in my story, Ryu is like the main character.
Right.
And so as we're following his journey, I wanted somebody with enough star power who could carry the movie. And you could almost change a lot of the other casting if you chose, just based on having him. So I was like, that was probably going to be my most important cast. So, Ty, you are up.
Okay.
For your
So I followed along with Jeffrey with drawing from the Mortal Kombat franchise. I picked Joe Taslim, who played Sub-Zero in the new Mortal Kombat. I originally was going with Simu Liu, but I just
he had a Ryu face.
He does. But that's really what it was. I was like, he looks more the part. Like he, especially as like in future seasons, you explore him actually looking for. Oh my goodness, why am I spacing on Akuma? Sorry. So he's looking for Akuma. So based on the story, like he becomes more, he gets that demonic energy himself, and I feel like Joe could really showcase that beastly power.
Okay.
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
with it. I'm with it. That's I like that character. And if nothing else, I'm definitely with you as far as like good fighter.
Yeah.
Because like in a Street Fighter movie, you need some good fighters.
Yeah, that was a hard part for me, was finding people who could actually pull off the fight without having to just switch to like stuntmen doing it for them.
Right.
Right.
Let's see. David,
Yeah.
who is your Ryu?
Okay, so follow me on this one here. All right.
All right, paint us a picture.
Yes. So there is a project out called Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, correct? Right.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yep. So, I am pulling my Ryu from this one because, first of all, this guy already does his own stunts, and he's basically Jackie Chan, but not Jackie Chan.
So
So
he's Jackie Chan from Wish.
no, he is Jackie Chan 2.0.
Oh,
Yeah. And if you've seen Blade of the 47 Ronin, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm pulling Mike Mo.
Yeah. Very good. Again, another one of those like good martial artists.
Yes.
Yeah, like the real deal.
The real deal.
Yeah.
I have to have seen you like crack somebody's head.
Well, I can't
In this role.
I can't argue with 6th degree black belt in Taekwondo. I can't. So like go. Yeah, movie in, please. Thank you.
You would also see him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be probably the other time people would have recognized him.
oh, okay. That's where I know him from. Cool.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he the one who played Bruce Lee in that.
He did play Bruce Lee in that.
So that right there is like, I would kind of put that up for justification. Like if he was given the honor to portray Bruce Lee.
Yeah, because Shannon Lee don't play about her father.
Exactly.
Right.
So
that's what I'm like.
At all.
So okay. All right. So we got our Ryus out the way. I'm not gonna lie, from here on for me. It gets interesting, but stick with me because I think it's still a good movie. Jeff, you mentioned you had to change your kin. I mean, you had to change your Ryu because of your kin. So who is your kin?
So for me, Ken has always been, quintessential all-American rich boy playboy.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked somebody that I've seen play this role, but also Ken has a heart. He has some earnestness about him underneath all that.
Big family man.
Yeah. I picked Michael Evans Bailey. He's on All-American. He plays what's his name? The Baker's son, a quarterback. Tall, light-skinned dude.
I know what you're talking about.
But he got, what I'm saying? He's like, I feel like he's like the modern day version of what like Ken would probably be. He's like probably be like the son of some former athlete who married a white lady, grew up in the rich suburbs. And he fights because people think he's not tough because he's rich. And like, you would definitely see him at like a UFC gym right now or something like that. So.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
And I think he has a lot of like charisma. And I think you're going to need that. He's going to be like, and I don't mean this as a diss, but he's like my Tyrese in Fast and the Furious. And I say that earnestly. Tyrese is my favorite character in the Fast and the Furious movies.
Right.
So he's going to be the one who charms their way into stuff. Yeah.
He's the voice of the audience because he says what everybody be thinking. And it's perfect 100%. In the movies. Okay. I like that. I like that. I think that is good casting for him. It was funny. You said Michael Evans. I was like, wait, what? but then you like,
White
dang,
said, boy, is a white racist term.
right.
Yeah.
that was too funny. Okay. So this one is gonna get me flack, but it's gonna pay off a little later on. I was very, very interested in having people that could actually do what needed to be done on screen. And also thinking about a character like Ken, similar to, as you mentioned, I wanted somebody who you could look at as being snobbish, but maybe it's just because you just kind of see him that way, not because that's really how he is. I wanted to stay in the, like I said, a similar age bracket. So since I have Simu as Ryu, it's going to take some makeup and special effects, so to speak. But Taylor Lautner is my Ken.
I looked at him.
That is a choice. That is not a bad choice.
I'll never forgive him. Oh no, that's
Hey, you got
Never mind.
how many
Different
people you
person.
got on your shit list?
She might be in the
no.
bathroom.
I thought this was the dude that played Gambit. In
Oh no.
Wolverine.
Okay.
No,
Channing
no.
Tatum.
No, that wasn't Channing Tatum. That
That was I know you're talking
Taylor
about
something from
from
Friday Night Lights.
the X-Men movies.
Wait, are you
Who's,
talking about the Gambit
John-
from the X-Men Wolverine
from
Origins?
Yeah,
Okay.
That was
That was Channing Tatum.
no, that wasn't.
No,
that was
he
Taylor.
was signed on. Yeah.
Am I not thinking
Channing
about it?
Tatum was signed on to be Gambit in the Gambit standalone, but he was not the first one shown on
Taylor
screen. In fact,
Hitch.
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
Taylor.
what I thought it was.
Oh, okay. All right. Never. I'm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Taylor Lautner, even though it seems like it would be one to get him good, it'd be good for him to get back into acting. He's got the martial arts background to get out there and with proper because they got to do the training and stuff for the film. He'll get back in shape and whatnot. I think he'll be a good opposite to Simu. And I think he doesn't necessarily bring as much star power, but I think he brings a little bit of the acting chops required to play that role. He's not going to do a lot of heavy lifting. He's Ken. And so as a
I don't
result,
think I've ever seen a movie he's in. Actually, no, Grown Ups too. I think he's in that.
I don't remember him in that.
You know what?
He's one of the college kids.
I've actually seen all of the Twilight movies, and when people were Edward or Jacob, you know what I'm saying? He was one of the werewolves. And it's the simplest story in that movie. You know what I'm saying? Those books, but my wife was all in, and it was a time that we got to spend together. And by the end of it, I needed to know what happened. So
I feel you.
You get 3 movies in, and I'm like, okay, wait. So
Look, that's why I've seen all the Divergent movies. Same
right, so wait,
reason.
does he get the girl? No.
I was like, I done seen 2 of these bitches now. I need to see.
Same
I
thing
know
with
it's not
Maze
going to be good, but I just want to know what happens.
Exactly. I had to finish it out. And no, I think Taylor Lautner, I saw the movie Abduction, and although it's a really weird and almost pointless movie, he's not leading man material, but I think he is very good supporting actor material. And I think as Ken, he will do really well as a supporting actor. Let's see. So we are a tie.
All right.
Your Ken.
I struggle with this casting. Because how I envisioned Ken was kind of like Street Fighter's version of Johnny Cage. Someone who trained with Ryu, but he took it to make money in the States doing movies. So
Kitty
I would
agrees.
be happy with this casting, but I can see that there's way better choices out there.
Okay.
Chris Evans. I think he can play kind of the cocky movie star, kind of like when he was in Fantastic Four as the Human Torch.
See, and I thought immediately of his
Scott
role,
Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
But more jovial, more lighthearted, kind of the Barry Allen to Ryu's rest of the Justice League. So I needed someone who can fight, one, but then two, ground Ryu in humanity.
Okay.
So I absolutely can see that there's absolutely a lot of options to choose from. I just couldn't think of someone who could also fight while also conveying both of those things.
And I think Chris Evans has done enough in the action movies.
Yeah.
That he can pick up what's needed to, as far as just being able to jump in and do the fight scenes, and they can show him a couple of the movies. He may not look as smooth, but
Yeah.
I think he can pull. That might be where you kind of get into the will it be Chris Evans or will it be the stunt double?
Right.
But I think if nothing else, he can definitely do what's necessary in terms of acting.
Right.
And I can definitely see that working out. So yeah. Okay. I like that. That works. David.
Yes, sir. All right. So
Ken Masters, who you got?
Ken Masters, once again, I'm going to pull from Assassin's Fist. Because aside from Mike Moe, this guy did a phenomenal job as Ken, especially in the other project, which was Resurrection. I'm gonna go with Christian Howard. Just have him keep doing the Ken shit. Just keep doing it, man. You knocked it out in Assassin's Fist and Resurrection. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. He can fight. He can portray Ken very faithfully. I don't have to worry about him getting hurt on the set. And that's about it. That's really all I got. I'm trying to save some money here, all right?
Yeah, and you know what? It would even be, I think even if you're giving the budget to the right team that's already done a good job,
yeah,
you're kind of winning anyway.
Oh yeah.
So
got to give him a different wig though, but that's about it. that's the only thing.
That's the difference when you get like real production versus the fan made, and like they're working in a little bit more constrained.
Yeah.
So okay, no, I'm with it. I'm with it. There were a couple of people that I was looking for some other roles, man, and it came down to he's a great fighter, but his acting is a little weak. So when you can find somebody that can do both the acting and the martial arts, you have to nail one or the other. Sometimes you get lucky with casting, you can nail both.
Right.
But see, that's kind of too why I wanted mine to be like that Ninja Turtles early style, because it's like you can ham it up when it's like that, because that's what this is. It's a hammy ass movie. Niggas shooting fireballs at each other. Like
no, and I get you. I get that.
Olivier.
I get right. No, but see, this is mine's. It's going to be an art house cinema, action, martial arts. No, but I absolutely get it, because I'm not going to go quite Chinese wire work with it.
Right.
But it is definitely going to be.
Well, they're going to be on strings of mine. We're not going Crouching Tiger.
Right.
Like,
but maybe you do an extra back tuck in that flip.
Like unless you can do a hurricane kick without a string.
Right. It's gonna be some special effects in there, obviously. No, I'm with you. Let's see. So now we are coming to. I'm curious for everybody on this one, because this is another one of those that's like it's actually pretty important casting. Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Because you're either gonna piss everybody off right here. I think they would be more forgiving of Ryu and Ken. You mess up Chun-Li.
You got to get Chun-Li right. Yeah.
You could lose your audience right here. So I am curious.
Look, at the end of the day, there are no serious actors out there with the lower body build to accurately portray.
You gotta stop.
So,
do what you can. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Don't get mad at me because this is not about thigh circumference.
And I get that. And I even
that's just a disclaimer for my personal casting. However others choose to cast is up to them. But I'm choosing Yvonne Chapman. She was in the show, the CW show Kung Fu. She was the main villain in, I think, season 1, but really good fighter. I was actually going to pick the main actress from Kung Fu, but I felt like for my movie, I wanted my Chun-Li to have a little more edge. Her father died. She's like kind of gone rogue, infiltrating like these fight tournaments to get next to M. Bison. And so then I was like, I need somebody who comes across as like, I'm willing to go over the line. I'm willing to cross. I'm on the edge right now. And, I felt like the main character had a little too much innocence, even though she is a very good fighter as well. But this woman, I mean, she does phenomenal work, even with weapons and all that kind of stuff too. So Yvonne Chapman is my choice.
Okay. I like this choice. I'm looking at her. Okay. I like this choice.
Again, did not do any research on thigh circumference.
It's all good. It's all good. I was able to go to like Google Images, and yeah, you got a good pick. I'm just saying. Yeah, I think she's believable as a Chun-Li.
Yeah, that's really what I wanted to go for. It's just like,
I mean, because the video game is a video game, and all them characters they're a little weirdly jacked as it is. So. We go for that element of realism, so to speak, by making it live action. We don't want to have a caricature of that person on screen just to, try to give them these video game bills.
Right.
So I'm with you there. Staying in that same vein, I'm putting no disclaimer on mine, but I did want a solid, believable Chun-Li.
This is the most euphemism men have ever used on the internet.
No, actually, no. I was just saying I wanted like with my same with my Ryu, same with my Ken, same with again, the fighting is going to be the key to making this movie successful, and I wanted somebody who looks good fighting on screen. And is able to perform the fighting that's necessary. That way we don't have to do all these double takes and split takes and shaky camera shots in order to make it look like she's fighting. I wanted somebody who could get out there and actually fight. Jessica Henwick.
That was my second
I was
choice.
thinking about it. I was thinking about that one too.
Even though she is not a traditional martial artist, she did train extensively for Iron Fist, and
she was the best martial artist.
The best martial artist on the show. Like Colleen Wing carried that show, and I immediately was like, I need her in this movie. And again, because these fights are going to be so paramount, even if you don't know why these two people are fighting, that's fine. Forget about it. We're doing a video game. Make sure the fight can explain why they're fighting.
Right.
Those two people
they're fighting because we put them in the cage and said fight.
Those two people were punching at each other, and I want you to be interested in it. And Colleen Wing, I think she's somebody that Jessica Henwick. I just got so stuck with her being Colleen. But she's somebody like I even went back and watched some of her fight scenes as a reminder, and I was like, "Yep, that is definitely my pick."
That's a solid choice, man. I kind of want to change my answer, but I'll stick to what I had. So So I had Menger Zhang, who you will know as Ling in the Shang-Chi movie, Shang-Chi's sister.
Okay.
So
But
She was
Yeah,
doing
I don't hate
work.
that. I don't hate that.
I was about to say, but there again, that's a solid fighter.
yeah, she's a solid fighter. She has the acting chops. She has the darker edge of "you kill my father, prepare to fucking die." Yeah, very, very much. I was happy with that choice, but Jessica Hedwig, yeah, that's also a really good one. That's a tough one.
And there were, I mean,
They gonna make your Ryu and Chun Li fall in love. Let me tell you that now. It's too sexy for
It's too
people not to
sexy.
pay attention to it.
I mean, hey, if we can
Low
push it,
key
we can
mine
push it.
too.
Yeah,
Like I'm looking
Yeah, I
at
mean,
these
it-
casts, I'm like, dang.
it works out. Now, see, that's where it gets interesting because there's another character later that's going to make that really funny. David,
Yes.
who do you have for your Chun-Li?
All right. So here's where we're kind of deviating from the path a little bit. So I'm not pulling anybody else from Assassin's Fist. So
Okay.
nobody panic. So realistically, going into this fan cast, I wanted to portray all these characters as just a tiny bit younger than how they would be presented today. And you'll see where I'm going with the Guile, because boy, I might catch some shit for that one. But I needed to go with somebody for Chun-Li that can fight, can act, but I feel like doesn't really have enough eyes on her just yet. For Chun-Li, go eat your sandwich. I'm gonna go with Karen Fukuhara.
Ooh.
Where do I know her from? I know the name. I'm trying to think.
You
where.
know her as the female from The Boys.
I was about to say that's the one from The Boy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kimiko, yes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, she be doing work.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another one of those, like, you know what? She can.
It'd be nice to hear her talk more. Like
Yeah, and
coherent
that's
sentences.
but she can act. She can really act.
Yeah.
yeah, what else? What did I see her in?
Bullet Train.
Bullet Train. She was in Suicide Squad. She was in She-Ra. I'm trying to think what else.
Oh, My Little Pony Equestria Girls. I was playing.
I mean, she might have.
I mean, why
But
you
she
play?
was in
She
it,
does
but
some
I don't-
voice work.
She was in it, but I don't know her.
She does do voice. She does do a lot of voice work. Stray, if you've seen that one.
Oh, she's the sewer queen on Craig of the Creek. That's tight.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Didn't know that. Damn. All right. Cool. But yeah, no, she definitely can act her ass off. So I need her in my movie today.
Damn. I think we all had solid choices for Chun-Li.
I had to do Chun-Li justice, or
I
else
mean,
I would
again,
be
that was
raked
one of
across the
those you
coals.
could have like just ruined the whole thing with that one.
Facts.
Mhm.
You know, and like I said, if you can get them fighting, and it's funny because she fits even in. You know what? Now I'm kind of looking at my choice like, dang, I really like that choice. So, all right, we'll trade, and we'll rotate around. Yeah, that okay. I'm liking that. Okay, this is another one of those interesting casting moments for me. But fortunately, I'm not next. So, Jeff, who do you have for Guile?
So I wanted somebody who can fight. I wanted somebody whose fighting style would be a little more brutal, like not martial arts light, but like martial arts, but also like I'll just like beat you. I can do the like bar fight style. I can go boxing. I can do whatever you need to do. So the style is like going to be a little more unorthodox and not like straight up kung fu, because he in the army. So he probably Golden Gloves boxer and all that. So I went with Michael Jai White, because
That is a choice.
he's not going to be out of place when he in there and they start kicking, but when you see him in a bar fight scene, just like throwing hands, you're not gonna be like, why is he not kicking nobody? He just like he looks believable as like a straight up like brawler boxer, and I think he has like that gravitas where he can get the team like cohesive. Like they gonna listen to him, even though like because like what kind of personality do you have to get 3 people who can also fight to just listen to you and follow your orders? So he also has the charisma to kind of fit in with that undercover vibe of like, yeah, I'm an energy drink sponsor, blah blah blah, looking for fighters for my team, and then he gets you in the back room and it's like, actually, I'm undercover with whatever organization, and we're here to root out Shadowloo, and I'm recruiting you. Here's some blackmail photos of you guys doing crazy stuff where even if you want to leave, too damn bad.
So
I had him picked, but I knew you were going to pick him, so I had to pick someone else.
Now, what's really funny? Okay. I've got him in a different spot. No, I've got him in a different spot.
I had him in that spot too, and then then another actor came to me for that spot.
We'll see, and I'm wondering if this is what if this moves the same way. Okay, so yeah, I was kind of staying with a general theme, and again, like age was a factor for a lot of these characters. And fresh off of a boxing appearance in Creed 3, I couldn't pick anybody other than Jonathan Majors.
Yep.
And I picked Jonathan Majors to be my guile because, again, thinking I could get away with not having to do a lot of martial arts here. And I bounced back and forth. I knew I was going to have, and it's funny because it'll be a little obvious now. I knew I was going to have Michael Jai White in my movie, and I wanted him to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to see if I could make it work, but I couldn't really swap the two. That just, it didn't make sense in my head to have that. And it'll make sense a little bit later, obviously, but I figured, if we're going with the traditional story, military background and whatnot, having seen Jonathan Majors in Devotion and when I saw do what?
Army commercials.
Well, Army commercials. But honestly, I was thinking of the way he was really the leader in The Harder They Fall, kind of getting everybody to round up around him.
I'll give him some food in a minute.
And he, it was his gang that was going after, Buddy Love gang and stuff like that. So it was. I just think he fits as being the person who can actually play the role of Guile in this. Doesn't require a lot of martial arts because Guile's fighting style isn't really martial arts. But I do believe that Jonathan Majors can throw hands, and I think it'll work. And it'll be cool to see him like do some flash kicks and stuff like that as well. So
I thought about Jonathan Majors for a different role, but
same. And I knew you would pick him, and I had to pick someone else.
But I didn't pick him.
So that I did see, and I thought about that role as well, and that was where the flip came, and I was like, oh, I can do it, and that's how it ended up working for me. So Ty, who is your Guile?
Well, after switching, because I knew it was going to be taken, I went with Scott Adkins.
Okay.
I like that pick, sir.
Thank you.
I like that pick. Scott Adkins might be the most underrated, most martial arts making movie person out there.
Yes. And I just knew that he could, one, do the fight justice, but also pull off the military look.
Yeah.
He need like a scar or something. He just looked like he good, but he just looked like generic white man number 3.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. He is like super underrated for all like literally every time it is kind of funny to say, like, he is the modern day Chuck Norris. Every time you see a white man doing martial arts in a movie, it's probably Scott Adkins. And that's the funny part. Like, if they're actually out there kicking ass doing some real martial arts, it's probably him. It usually is. And he's been you talk about military, he's done like 30 military movies.
Yeah.
So like the guy definitely fits for that role. I like that pick. That's a good pick. We got David.
All right, here we go.
All right, give it to me. It's about to get real interested in it.
And his name is John Cena.
Oh wow!
It makes perfect sense in my mind because like Guile is not like a straight up martial artist. He is a step above street fighting, basically.
He is a trained fighter, nothing more.
He is a trained fighter. He's not a martial artist. But John Cena does have the charisma. He does have he has a good personality for Guile. He is the closest to the body type, and I think he could pull off the hair.
Oh, I'm not doing the hair.
I gotta have the hair because you got to do the thing with the comb. I have to have the hair.
You know what?
I have to.
That actually works. When you break it down like that, that actually kind of works. Yeah.
And I'm also thinking like,
give him the
Guile,
USA tattoo. Like, you
get
know
the
what?
USA tattoo, and then also
take
like
Peacemaker, give him different hair.
Exactly.
I'm with it. Instead of guns, he has a flash kick and some punches.
And tell me you don't want to see John Cena do a flash kick.
Wait a minute. I could see him being the one to actually yell Sonic Boom when he does his attack.
Yes. Oh, he's gonna get super into character, and that's exactly what I want.
Yeah. That
I can respect
Nobody
that.
will be able to see him.
You save money on casting right there.
There you go.
You know what? I like that one. That's a good that actually works out a lot better than I thought. When you first said it, I was like, wait, what? As I sit here and think about it, I'm buying into that.
Oh, trust me. I was making so many like concessions in my mind. It's like I can't do John Cena, but I'm like, God, it makes so much sense though.
Yeah, it really does. Okay.
You want to do a halfway recap? I just sent you the.
Actually, yeah, I was about to say, if you got that, I will pull that up.
Because this is all of our good guy teams. And that way, if you want to be able to clip it up and make a short, you have a video of you saying all the names in order.
There you go. Let me save this image real quick. Actually, let me just open that in a new tab. That's what I will do. Boom. And we'll pull this over here, make it big. Yeah. I love that picture you got of Michael Jai White looking like Tyson right there. But you know what? I'm gonna need you to keep that same picture.
Yeah, just slide it over.
Yeah, I already know.
Right. That's too funny. So this is let me get this screen up. Share screen. See, now it knows how to share the audio tab. That's funny. It couldn't do that for the longest. Boom. There we go. So here are our teams. We have Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, and Guile. Yeah, this is gonna. You know what? I'm looking at David's cast down there, and I'm like, that looks like Street Fighter right there.
Mm-hmm. I know what I'm talking about.
I
know what I'm doing.
That looks like Street Fighter. And seeing even that one, yeah. So far, I think we got four good movies. We got a great TV show that Ty's running. That's going to work well on the TV show. Yeah, that's a hell of a pick. I think that's Man, I can't wait to see the voting on this one. This is some interesting choices right here. Some effort put into this one, boy. I think I'm gonna probably lose some people with Taylor Lautner right there.
100%.
I think I'm gonna lose one or two people because that might not be the most flattering picture for him to be portrayed as Ken. But I think with the exception of the people who are familiar with the web series, Christian Howard leaves. That's still a question. And I think Chris Evans might actually win the Ken round. I think he might win the Ken round.
I will take it.
I think that was 4 solid picks for Chun-Li. I don't think anybody had a bad Chun-Li
can't
on
take
that.
a thing.
And everybody had a really good Ryu. Guile, I'm curious to see how that plays out based on the villains. So, okay, cool. Let's keep this thing going. I'm enjoying this. This is a contest right now. Okay. All right, so that was our heroes. My main character, my supporting cast there. That was the good guys. Now we get into the interesting part where we start talking about the bad guys. These are the antagonists, or these are the people. Most of these are going to be the lieutenants.
Yep.
And as Jeff pointed out, these are going to be your boss battles. Your A, B, and C bosses before you get to the final boss. And
do we want to save Bison for last, or
yes, the order we're going to pick for these. We're going to do Vega, Balrog, Sagat, and then Bison.
Okay.
So we're going to start with Vega and Jeff. Who do you have for Vega?
So this is my pick that's going to piss people off, but it's going to piss off the kind of people who I don't really care if they come see my movie anyway. Because at the end of the day, I want a female bad guy in my movie, and this is the slot that I'm going to put it in.
Okay.
And I'm casting Zendaya as Vega. Because when I think about Vega's fighting style, I find it very it's almost dancer like, and I think she would be able to embody that. I would see her flipping around, jumping all over the screen. Now she's not buff like Vega is, and I get that, but I also is just do I really want to put a wig on a bunch of people, or do I really just want to be you know what? Maybe everybody thinks it's a man because she's wearing the mask. And maybe in my movie we mess up the lore and maybe people get mad. But that's who I want to play Vega in my movie.
You know what? I can actually see that.
Huh.
That's a very interesting take. And
Yeah, I don't exactly hate that casting.
And she could even play him as a man. Like they be doing on SNL when the women be playing all the Republican men senators and they be getting mad about it. I'm trying to we can put her in the movie and say it's a man. It don't matter,
I mean, and honestly, what comes to mind is I think about the vanity, the protecting of the face, the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And typically you see the mask and that long ponytail and that claw. Till that mask comes off, you don't even have to know that it's a woman. And if most people see the mask and are dead, how does anybody just know that it's a woman?
Right.
And based on the way that you kind of have this set up for your movie, that absolutely works. Because we would see her walk around at the tournament, maybe with a clipboard or something and glasses, and she's an executive. She looks like the main secretary. Meanwhile, she's the main assassin, taking people out and don't nobody know.
Right.
I like the spin.
And I think just when I think about Vega's silhouette, that was, and I think for me with casting, that was a big part of it. I was just does this person have like the silhouette? And I just couldn't find any dudes where I was like, this person has the silhouette, but can they do the action stuff? And like between Spider-Man and her aerial role in like The Greatest Showman, like I know she don't have a problem with being slung around off the ground. I know she knows how to like move with the cables and is going to be much more fluid about it. So it's just like we're getting them the same martial arts training that everybody gonna get. It's all choreography. She's a dancer. Like I'm not worried about like her lack of fighting experience at all because it's all choreography anyway.
No, it's a solid choice.
And her fighting style, I feel like, is a lot more like evasive. So it's not like she gonna be getting stuck in like trying to trade blows with Ryu. It's like she's sticking and moving. It's like boom, kick to the back of the head, and the wires is full yank.
Yep.
Yeet.
I can
That is
dig
a-
it.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
choice.
literally make
I
my
can
wires
dig
make
it.
that sound.
Yeah, I don't hate that choice. I'm still trying to picture it, but I don't hate it. I don't. Huh.
Now, I have.
Oh boy. Oh, I know that sigh. Oh, I love that.
So, remember I had Ken earlier?
Uh-oh.
This is why Ken was gonna pay off.
Okay.
I was talking with my wife, and when I was making out my cast, I was talking to the wife, and I was like, I need somebody
I'm already typing the name.
right that has a look. I need somebody that has a look.
Uh-oh.
And
Are you about to do it? Are you about to do
and
it?
I need them to be like tall and slim, and they need to like somebody you would think of as being very vain. And we decided, and it made a lot of sense to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
What you gonna do?
We're gonna put Robert Pattinson in
God's
as Vega.
What?
So you gonna make these men fight over who's the prettiest again?
God damn it!
But
Sam
again,
reignites an age-old feud.
as I look, think about the butts that are in the seat just because those two are back on screen.
Look, man.
But no, realistically,
I mean, you're right, but like,
right.
I mean, at least your Chun-Li isn't Kristen Stewart.
And we're,
God,
you know what?
yes.
And we're just gonna trick him into seeing a good movie. But no, honestly, I was thinking about like, I did want somebody who could be dark and looming and imposing, but I really kind of struggled with the fighting aspect. Oh, there we go, Jake Busey. That's actually a decent pick. Jake Busey as Guile. I can see it. I can see it. That works. He'd look a little funny, but Jake Busey's a funny looking guy. But no, with Robert Pattinson, I thought again,
I Street Fighter.
Exactly. See, and that works out. But no, I think Robert Pattinson as Vega is. I literally told my wife I needed somebody that was pretty. I didn't want her to find an attractive man. I wanted to find a handsome man. I wanted her to find somebody that was pretty. And we talked about it. She made the suggestion, and I just kind of like it. I did Google image search and like clicked through a bunch of images. And I was just like, yeah, let's stick a mask on that, throw a blonde ponytail. I like it. And, you know what I'm saying, we've seen a little bit of action from like the Batman and stuff like that. And he's done some other action stuff and, like Tenet and that sort of thing. Vega's martial arts style is a little unique. So, I mean, he's like a ninja, he's an assassin. So there's not just like your standard
Bullfighter.
fight. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's a matador. And so it's like, as a result, I think we can get away with the fight style depicted on screen with Vega. And that kind of left a little opening for me to cast someone other than a strong martial artist. And yeah, I'm definitely going with Robert Pattinson. So
I'm really proud of you for sticking with your choice.
absolutely, I'm 100% on board with that one. And like I said, I got Taylor Lautner. So when that fight takes place, it's rematch of the century. Okay. Ty, who do you have for Vega?
All right, so I kind of took this in a different direction. The closest thing I could think of as far as his fighting style was parkour. So I was trying to find an actor who could portray that as well as kind of like Dark and Looming. So I picked Malik Diouf, who you will have seen in Lost Bullet and Les Miserables and Whiskey Cavalier.
Okay.
So his last name is Diouf.
Malik Joof.
So his last
I
name
only know
is
that because I used to
Diouf.
date a girl. I used to date a girl whose last name was Joof. Senegalese.
Fair enough, but I feel like he doesn't need the long hair, just the porcelain mask, and just kind of like the
Hashtag Black Vega.
light-footed, yes, Black Vega. But definitely light on his feet, like Vega is definitely moving around, assassin line, but also kind of have that hot seat behavior.
Okay. Now it's funny because you mentioned parkour, and I actually had somebody big for parkour in the role for Vega at one point. And I went through like 3 different casting choices. Maybe that'll be a BTS. We'll talk about that. Post credit today, we'll have that up there. Okay, this guy's looking. I like that hashtag Black Vega. I'm with that. I like this. I like this. That's a dope character right there. David, give me some Vega. Oh.
All right. So, for my pick for Vega, I needed somebody who is conventionally attractive for a man, right? Nice physique. Could be a prissy bitch about looks and beauty and shit.
Okay.
So we're gonna go with my guy, Pedro Pascal. No. We're not. We're going with Marco Zaror.
Marco Zaror.
Yes. If you are unfamiliar, you may have seen him in John Wick Chapter 4, Machete Kills. I think he was in Fist of the Condor. He was definitely in Invincible. Not the animated series, the movie.
Okay.
I want to say he was in. I can't remember anything else he was in off the top of my head right now. But yeah,
No. I got it. We got Mirage Man, John Wick Chapter 4, Kill Troll, Savage Dog,
yes.
Undisputed 3, Redeemer. Those are some of his top credits.
Yes.
Okay, so then he was in that with Scott Adkins.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fist of the Condor, Invincible.
Yes. Definitely need somebody who could fight. Need somebody who's kind of chiseled, jawlines gifted from Jesus himself.
There's a pick.
Yeah.
Jude Law for Vega.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. Jeez.
Okay.
Can you fight?
I think again, and maybe he's going the same route as me, thinking like since it's Vega, it doesn't have to be as much in terms of the traditional martial arts fighting. And Jude Law's done some.
He was beating up Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I was about to say Jude Law's got some.
Yeah, but that wasn't really.
Fight me without your powers. Show me you really can beat me. What?
But yeah, that's who I was thinking. I was also I was seriously considering Pedro Pascal for a second, but I'm like, nah.
I think it'll be interesting. Just like have him be in the mask most of the time, and then when he finally takes the mask off, it is Pedro.
I'm thinking if we
Mustache still
ever,
in place.
I'm thinking if we ever get to a Street Fighter 4 movie, then he'll probably be my El Forte. But that's future plans down the line.
Okay. I mean, at this point, you gotta think 4 or 5 movies ahead.
Yeah.
Let them know you're serious.
Yes.
All right. So now I'm curious because we are back. Jeff, you go ahead and fill mine in because mine was already given away.
Yeah.
But, what do you have for your Balrog?
For Balrog, I have someone who just played a very iconic boxer, Trevante Rhodes. I think, he's a phenomenal actor, from Moonlight, from playing Mike Tyson, from being all around like object of lust for most Black women in America. But he's a good actor. I think, we know he can box from playing Tyson. He's got the right build, but I think he also has the kind of face where, like, my villains are going to look like villains. So it's like he can get into a character where it's like, why is your hairline like that? It's like, okay, I can trust him to play like a crazy enough boxer and give me something to where it's like, okay, yes, this is the kind of person who would have a spiky hair like look, and like I'm going like full game mode. Like, we're not going to fancy it up with the type of boxers. Like, no, you're wearing the tank top with the cutoff undershirt and the boxing, and we're going to do you in different colors when you show up in your different fights leading up to the thing. So I think, yeah. And I want somebody who can convey a lot without having a whole bunch of lines. And like in Moonlight, he was a very like kind of quiet character and was able to convey a lot of emotion and energy without being very talkative. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's got that build. He's imposing enough. Nice solid 6 feet. But he pretty big 6 feet too, though. So okay.
Which is gigantic in a movie.
Right. I was like, that translates very well on film. I am curious though, because you have them in the little jean cutoffs and the sleeves ripped off.
Yep.
There you go. So my Balrog, at one point I had actually thought about putting Jonathan Majors in this role. It was very obvious, having watched Creed. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, well, next time you need a boxer, there you go. My man is jacked, and you put some gloves on him, and he just looks like he could punch somebody so hard. You know what I'm saying? And just following that story of who Balrog is, and kind of thinking future, like David said, like if we go a couple movies down the line, we start to get some other stuff that happens with Balrog. And so I just wanted to be prepared to have somebody that could have the acting chops to do both.
Right.
And that was why I put Michael Jai White in this role.
Of course.
It allowed me to have him in my movie, put him in a role that he could fit, and it allowed me to then move Jonathan Majors up, because I kind of struggled with what I wanted to do with Guile for a while, and then I was like, oh, we can do that, and we can move there. So that was an easy one for me. And I think it would be cool to see Michael Jai White play a character like Balrog, who primarily has boxing attacks, but to see him switch it up in a fight and throw a kick or something.
Well, I mean, it is canonical that Balrog is a very, very dirty boxer, so
right,
it's
and
not
so,
outside the realm of possibility.
I just think that would be like one of the cool things to see on screen. Like, because everyone's like, oh, wait, I thought he's just a boxer. But since you have Michael Jai White, take advantage of having Michael Jai White.
Right.
And keep it very simple like that. So we are looking for Ty. Who do you have for Balrog?
I was also looking at Jonathan Majors, but I knew he was going to get picked. So I'm kind of went with an unknown as far as the acting. Uh, but huge MMA fighter, Rashad Evans.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That I think it does kind of just come down to whether or not he can.
He don't have any lines.
Yeah, like how much he has to say. But truthfully, I
I
think
mean, he was in boss level. He did all right there. I mean, he was just like a background fighter, but
if nothing else, he that works. He's got the look for sure.
if Mike
sure.
Tyson was younger,
Oh,
I was gonna pick
without
him.
question.
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
I mean,
question.
isn't
That's
the
a-
character
that's an
based on
easy-
Mike Tyson?
Actually, in some regions, Balrog is named Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I think I'm remembering.
No, I
that
think
correctly.
Balrog. I thought
Yeah.
Balrog was in Bison, but then they changed it in
Yes.
America because they
Yeah.
didn't want to deal with like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Vega.
Coming
Yeah,
in.
Vega's
Bison and Vega's names got switched around
Okay.
depending on the region. Yeah, I think there is one region where he was at least named Mike, but I can't quite verify that. I can't remember. But yeah, no, he is absolutely based on Mike Tyson, 100%. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. It's painful.
Yeah, like they never tried to hide. I think the most they did was they gave him that weird haircut to try to separate it a little bit.
Yeah, his hairline is fucked up beyond all recognition.
Yeah. That shit look like a backgammon board.
But you know what? It also looks intentional.
It's
You know what I'm saying?
it kind of
Like,
does.
That's the way
like,
they've done it.
That
They've got it to the point now. It looks like he meant to do that.
like his barber made a mistake one time and he just like, whatever, man, go for it, fam. Like his hairline can only be described as tragic.
But you know what? You're not gonna tell him that. How about that?
I'm not telling him shit. I'm not even calling him.
Imagine being a barber.
Nah.
He's like, you sure? You sure this is what you want? I don't want you trying to beat my ass after you see it and it look crazy.
Absolutely the fuck.
Right.
No, I'm
Then
not
you might
even
get
trying
beat
to
up
sit
for
in this-
asking you sure.
I'm not even trying to sit in the same room and this that guy. What you mean? I'm trying to tell him no. Nah, I'm good.
There we go. All right, so David,
Yes. All right. So
who you got?
So take a journey with me into my mind palace on this one. All right.
All right.
So I mentioned before that I had a perfect pick for Dudley, who is also a boxer, clean
Right.
boxer. So I kind of took that plus, who Balrog is, and I had just a list of people that I could have added. So there was Idris Elba, fucking Michael Jai White, and even Michael B. Jordan was in there. Like just things that I was kind of spitballing, but I'm like, I gotta go a little bit outside the box for this one because I need someone who is a boxer, just a fighter in general, but also can just be angry and loud. So instead of going for your Michael Jai White or your Idris Elba's on the shelf for Dudley later. I went with Bob Sapp.
Bob Sapp.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is a choice.
That is a choice. All I got to do is just get that hair on him, get that hairline going. That's it. He's got pretty much the same build. He's got the same face. He's got loud, boisterous energy. That's all I need. Plus, he's not just a boxer. He's a wrestler. He's a kickboxer. He was a football player. He could do some dirty boxing. I know he got it in him. Plus,
you know what?
Plus, he's tall as shit.
I was about to say that he looks like
He's
a
mountainous.
ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bob Sapp, my Balrog.
That works.
It's like, can you stand in the back and just say "yeah" real loud?
Like when you get knocked out, I want you to yell "my fight money" just as grisly as you can, and that's it. That's all I need. And I know he can do it.
And you know what's funny? Like, I think in those times when he's not being the menacing villain, Bob Sapp he's such a fun guy other times when you see him.
Yeah.
Because he's been in like I think about the movie he did with Rob Schneider where he was like the big guy in the jail.
What was it?
He comes over.
Big Stan. Stan. That's the one.
You know what I'm saying? And he comes over like, yeah, you little bitch.
Yeah.
And then of course Rob Schneider's like, can you believe that? This guy called me a bitch. Like, what? I can't believe that. You guys know that he calls me? And I mean, he was like the biggest dude in the prison right there.
Right.
And of course, they kind of get into it. He has the little fight. But after that scene, the next time we see him, he's just as nice and as gentle. And seeing him like flip that switch like that.
So like my thinking for him is like a mix between Blood and Bone and then The Longest Yard.
Okay.
That's what I want, because I want a little bit of goofiness, because Balrog in essence is kind of a goofy dude, but I also want somebody who's like when he got the gloves on, he just fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what? I'm honestly glad nobody picked like a Terry Crews for that, because that would have just been like,
no,
too much.
You don't need Pop Lock and Balrog.
Right.
But like the pie in the sky pick for that one though, but unfortunately he is no longer with us. Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
That would have been my perfect like.
That would have been like an ultimate cast, right?
That's my ultimate casting for Balrog, but he is no longer with us, so we're going with Bob Sapp.
All right, I'm with that. I like that. That absolutely works. Big guy, and you know what? Like, yeah, you catch an uppercut from him.
Oh no, that is the end of you. That is it.
Okay. All right. Down to the last two. We got Sagat. Sagat.
All right. So for this, obviously he's gonna be my my henchman, my top henchman before the big bad, obviously. And I wanted somebody who just looked like they just are like kind of above it all, but like when it's time to get down, he's above it all because he's a dude that's like, I really can beat everybody ass in here, like for real. Like all that stuff y'all doing down there is cute, but like don't like when I take my shirt off, I spread these wings. When I wrap these Muay Thai cords around my hand, like it's a problem. Yeah. So I picked Ricky Whittle from American Gods because he's got the physique and he's got kind of the acting chops, I think, to kind of go back and forth with my M. Bison because, you know, I'm going to play kind of into that kind of relationship too of like the henchman who wants to be the big boss. And, you know, obviously he learns the lesson of why he's not. He learns why he's an assistant pimp and not the real pimp. Because
you know what? That's why you in number two. You in number two spot for a reason, player.
Right.
You know, that's a sit your
$5
ass down before I make change.
Right.
Kind of
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's still like a big dude. Like,
oh yeah, he's a big dude for sure. But I needed him. But like, he's gonna be in the movie doing a lot more acting and talking because his fight not to the last tournament. Like, he not fighting at every tournament. He started fighting because like his guys keep losing to these dudes, and so now he on that. I got to come down here and teach y'all a lesson type thing. So he gonna be doing a lot of talking throughout the movie. So I needed somebody where if I needed somebody to slam down on the office table and say, finish these guys off or something, I needed to be believable.
Okay. All right. So, dang, that dude huge.
Well, Sagat is huge. He's
I mean,
big bitch.
Yeah, he's like 6'5", but I just came like, okay.
Wait, who's huge?
Yes,
the dude I picked,
Ricky Whittle guy.
Oh yeah. I needed him to have like a 12-pack.
Yeah, because I mean, like, and this is one of those moments. It's like, okay, you know what? This dude right here, Yeah, my cousin, she going to see this movie right here. I can tell.
Right.
This is her Reggie Jean Page moment right here. This guy.
Right.
Okay. So Sagat, I wanted a traditional martial artist. I wanted someone from Thailand. I wanted someone that looks like they could just Muay Thai your ass to death. If they hit you with an elbow, you might go down. It was a very simple pick. There's only one person, Tony Jaa.
I feel it. I can feel that.
See, I was gonna pick him, but then I was like, I feel like isn't he small?
Yeah.
Hey man, do Tom Cruise look like he 4 feet 11 inches tall on camera?
No,
Yeah.
I was saying for
Movie
my movie. No, I was saying for my movie though, because like I got a tall guy as Ken and a tall guy as Ryu. Like it's only so many apple crates I can bring on the set to make this realistic in a fight. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Everybody's gonna shoot on that platform, and we need Zendaya. You walk over there. We're gonna shoot out of perspective to make sure everybody's kind of the same height. But no, I mean, again, fights were going to be the main thing for this movie, and I wanted somebody that could definitely hold their own in a fight, and I needed someone who comes in with boss level credentials. Reason being, M. Bison in my movie is not our. Everybody knows M. Bison as the bad guy, but for the purpose of moving the story, Sagat is that's going to be like the big battle. That's going to be the main between Ryu and Sagat. That showdown, that fight taking place is going to be like the story closer, so to speak. And we will see M. Bison. He'll have his moments. He'll have a lot to do with, establishing the other parts. We have Vega, because you still have the Chun-Li story. You still have the Vega. You still have Balrog. And you still have Guile. So there's stuff to do with Bison. But as we're sticking with Ryu, the fight between Ryu and Sagat, that was the culmination of why we've been sitting through this movie. And that will be where we'll introduce the scar on the chest for Sagat. So it'll be a big deal. I needed somebody who would look really good on screen with Simu as they went back and forth.
Yeah, Simu's not that tall though, so you don't have to worry about that for your movie. There's like a commercial with him and Giannis, and he's like standing on a bench, and he's still shorter than Giannis.
Well, see, now the funny thing is technically I need Sagat to be bigger than Ryu. Yeah. And if they're kind of matched up, but I think just the level of fight that's going to take place will kind of, it'll fit in the suspension of disbelief there as we're watching these two go at it. So we got Ty. We're coming up. Who do you have for Sagat?
So I wanted someone taller, so I couldn't go with Tony Jaa. I wanted to,
right?
But I decided to change things up, and instead of going someone from Thailand, I went with someone from India.
That was my second pick.
So I have picked Vidyat Jamal.
Was that Bingham?
No, it's VIDYUT JAMMWAL.
Okay.
But he's about 6 foot. He is also a martial artist as well. So he's slender enough that he has the moves that he can be fast with the Muay Thai, but has the living figure that quickness also comes with power.
Oh yeah, that's a big dude. Yeah. Okay. Now, when I was scrolling down, looking through, I almost wanted to pick the guy who does the Indian super cop movies, Bingham. Because I wanted some. I was like, you know what? You throw an eye patch on him, let him be Sagat and all that. I mean, he's again. You talk about somebody huge, but I was like, we're not going to really be pulling anybody. Like, we're not going to kick a tire, make a car flip, and pull somebody out the car while it spins overhead. We'll save that for a later move. But I did consider going with an Indian character as well, but I decided I would focus more in on the Muay Thai. Okay, I like that pick. That is a yeah. I think he looks imposing. He looks like he would definitely beat the hell out of somebody. And if he's got martial arts background, yeah, that's gonna be an interesting fight. David.
Yes.
Talk to me. Who do you have for Sagat?
All right. So this one is a little different because he's not Thai, which I'm kind of mad about it, but I needed somebody I needed a big dude, right? So I had a couple of ideas going in my head. There was Shane Rangi. There was Nathan Jones. I was even thinking Martin Ford. As much as I hate it, Dwayne Johnson was in the fucking mix.
Mine too.
I was even thinking about Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I did settle on one person who I think looks enough like him, has a similar build, and is just big as shit.
Okay.
And that would be Derek Mears.
Derek Mears.
Let you think about that one if you are unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, hell yeah.
How do you spell his name? Because the guy I pulled up is a investment banker.
Oh no, not him.
MEARS.
You said MEARS. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine a slightly.
Imagine buff powder.
Yes. Imagine if the guy from the CW Smallville got jacked.
Yeah.
Or the assassin dude from Gotham.
Oh, Victor Zsasz, yeah.
Yep. So, trust me, I battled with myself a long time for this one. So I'm just like, it has to be this guy. Otherwise, it would have been Dwayne Johnson, and I'm not trying to give him any more goddamn work.
Where does eyebrows go?
I was curious to see too about like who was gonna pick a bald person, because that was my other thing. I was like, I gotta pick somebody where I know what the head shape look like.
Okay, fair enough.
People can get rid of that hair, anything be under there. It's like now we got to put a prosthetic on the back of your head, just so it looks shiny and smooth like Sagat.
Just so it's rounded appropriately.
Because I'll put this. So fun fact, as I was searching for somebody who would fit the description, I keep coming across Dwayne Johnson, and I literally said to myself, I swear to God, if I can't find somebody else, I'm casting Terry Crews as Sagat just to spite The Rock. Because God damn it, I'm so sick of seeing his ass in movies. He's I'm pretty sure he's a cool guy and everything, but in movies, I'm so sick of seeing him. There's
just
other people.
I don't think Dwayne Johnson's personality fits for somebody like Sagat.
Right.
In
And then
any aspect.
there was
If he tried to
another
make Black Adam imposing, he's not going to make Sagat imposing.
yeah. And there was another person that I definitely like was thinking about it, but it was a hell no when I really thought about it. Vin Diesel. Cause one, you short as shit, my boy.
Yeah.
Two, you don't look like you've done leg day ever.
At that point, you might as well just go with Jason Statham.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, in the face, like, okay, yeah, sure, but then, like, damn, I got to get like 3 apple crates for your ass.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, honestly, I think you're Derek Mears. That is surprisingly great pick. I think he will work really well for Sagat, and just given the background of work he's done, I'm pretty sure he's going to be okay to do the necessary stunts.
Oh yeah. That and he just looks evil. Like I'm confident he could just pull off some evil shit.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he is the body behind Jason and all the latest and like the last couple of Friday the 13th. So
yes,
he big dude.
Jason has evolved. I've heard he doing parkour and shit now. He ain't just walking slow behind people.
How you think he catch up with all the victims so fast?
Right, you turn and he's not there because he done like frog leaped and barrel flipped over something, and now he in front of you,
right,
waiting on you to catch to him. So, all right, we are down to the big boss for most of you. A major story point for me, M. Bison. All right, Jeff. Tell me about your main villain.
So, like I said a little bit earlier, my M. Bison is kind of like he's kind of like this universe's Vince McMahon, but like on a global scale. And I wanted somebody and I'm talking like evil, bad boss, post Montreal screwjob Vince McMahon, where he leaned into it. He embraced the fan hate of his character, and it actually made the WWE a lot of very, very entertaining. But this is kind of like in that mode where he's got the world fooled and everybody's like on his side. But really, we know the turn is coming. And my person is somebody who has been seen as mostly a good guy for most of his career. And I think it's time for him to just go ahead and embrace this villain arc right now. People talking about you, they got a lot to say. Time to play some bad guys in some movies. My M. Bison is Will Smith.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Keep his name out your motherfucking.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay,
He's
wait.
Okay.
Big. He's big.
Wait.
Okay.
Is he?
Yeah.
Will Smith is like 6'4".
Yeah,
I know he's
like in real
tall.
He put on the pounds for Ali. He can get.
I was about to say he can swell up
if he need to. Now, here's the reason why I picked this, because a lot like Sagat is going to be talking through most of my movie. I need my M. Bison to have like the charisma to be able to show people like, this is how I got the world fooled into like hosting these big pay-per-view fighting tournaments all around the world. That's just like a front to my like shadow organization. So I need somebody who can be that, but also has the dark side. I'm not doing this version of M. Bison where he's just not from the animated movie where he's just in the shadows, just being evil the whole movie. It's like I gotta do some tweaks to try to get this man to like be to a place where it's like, why does he have all this money if he's just clearly bad and evil? Why do all these corporations and sponsors like work with him on his tournaments if he's clearly like evil? But somebody who I want to see them take kind of that evil turn in movies. And honestly, I just think Will Smith needs to go back to like what he's doing with Bad Boys for the action with a hint of comedy or romance, but not all this serious Oscar bait. Like, you got the Oscar, dog. let's move on. Let's do some fun stuff. Let's get back to why we really liked you. Plus, I feel like with his fight, with M. Bison's fighting style, from what I remember, it's not no crazy like I'm doing flips and I'm like, I don't need my M. Bison to be Tony Jaa.
He is.
It'll be more CGI for him because of the psycho powers. So you can
and he'll be like flying and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, you
and
can
doing like baseball slides.
Man, I don't know why that shit's making me itch.
Let me say though, I get when you think about, like I said, if you think about like the previous casting he has for Sagat and who he has for Vega, it would make sense that it would take someone like a Will. You have these two guys who are like, your A and B goons, you know what I'm saying? Like your number two, your number three. But if you're going to be the face of the company, you get away with it having a Will Smith be the face of that company. But
plus, like everybody in my movie good looking.
If he reached down and takes some of that iRobot anger, like he just played that real jaded chip on the shoulder character from iRobot, pull a little bit more of that. Some of the you
Bad
wrecked my
Boys
car
One.
and Bad Boys. Yeah, like you wrecked my car and Bad Boys. It's there. Yeah, I think it would be. This is his Denzel moment where he gets to go and be a villain and probably a great villain.
Plus, it's somebody who I need to be able to stand toe to toe, like physically, toe to toe with like everybody in the movie, essentially, and not be like, I don't want to have to do too many camera tricks to show why Michael Jai White standing in front of Will Smith is not an automatic L for Will Smith. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
Yeah.
That's all I absolutely get the logic there.
And I think it's like I think he's a good actor, and I think he could do it. Although, like, I feel like he just has that thing of like he has that like kind of nobility thing about him. But I'm just like, at this point, brother, like that's out the window. Let's just make some good movies. Stretch yourself as an actor. Be a bad guy.
Yeah, I think it would make a difference, and it would. I'm with it. I would be willing to see how that plays.
Put him in like one of them '90s Michael Jackson suits from like the history days.
Okay.
Like I do want to see Will Smith in the villain role. I'm having trouble visualizing him in this particular one.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is like, well, there will not be a video game accurate costume because I just can't pick. Like, I'm trying to see him in the red on red with the boots and the hat. Like, okay, we probably not gonna get that in.
But you got to think about it. In this world, everybody has a gimmick like that. Like all the fighters have the gimmick. That's how we're getting to like the people from the game. These are not like real life people who are just like, hey man, I'm DJ. I'm coming to the ring with a boombox to get my head kicked off. It's like wrestling, but for real.
No, and I get that part of it, like the showman side of it. But I'm
so I see it. Okay, look, I see it like this. This was his old character that he used to play when he was young, when he was rising up through the ranks. And now these motherfuckers that made him go back and get the jersey out of retirement. So he's wearing that because he's fighting. This is not a behind the shadows fight. This is also a fight happening on TV. So he got the world. He's got like the world on his side, while our four heroes are kind of up against the world. So Will Smith gonna go to the nostalgia and get out the little hat and get out the shoulder pads and all that from back in the day, and people gonna eat up the retro vibe of it in my world.
Okay,
but like. He not gonna fight. All that's gonna come off probably. He gonna end up, or it's gonna get beat off. Pause.
Phrasing. Okay. So, that is an interesting take. Will Smith as M. Bison. Okay. So still scratchy over there
a little bit, but like. I've been wrong before because like I I was the first person to say like Will Smith cannot pull off Deadshot, and then okay, all right, fine.
Even even think about Will Smith's like crazy laugh.
I know, but I'm looking at the face and I'm just like, I'm not like, I don't feel threatened, you know?
Yeah.
That's
But that's
kind of where I'm
to
at.
his credit, he's not being threatening, he's being charming. And then we'll have to see can he make the switch.
Fair.
You know what? And see, it's like that. It's just such an easy joke to walk into because I'm like, you know what? And that's how Chris got slapped because he doesn't seem threatening. But now, if Will Smith come walking in your direction, you kind of like start taking a few steps back. You're not just gonna stand there. I think if we lean more into the villain side, that can work. Okay, so I kind of went with a more traditional villain look. I wanted somebody who really had the look. And this is one of those times where I was mindful of. I wanted somebody big. I wanted somebody tall. I wanted somebody who looks like they could throw down if necessary. And again, because we have this interesting fighting style with M. Bison, it's not like a traditional karate or anything like that. It's like we can get away with having somebody who's not a full-on martial artist, but they need to be somebody that can, throw hands on screen. Dominic Purcell. Dominic Purcell, a lot of people will probably remember him right now from Legends of Tomorrow, Prison Break. He was the main vampire in Blade Trinity.
He was Heatwave in the Flash CW show.
Yeah, and same character carried over to Legends of Tomorrow. So yeah, that guy, Heatwave. He's got an imposing presence, and he looks believable in a suit. And knowing that Shadaloo is like, an underground secret organization that not many people really know about, and blah, 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 blah. The main thing that Bison did was he gained all of this like political power, and, he amassed this private army and that sort of thing. And then Shadaloo was unveiled at a later time. We'll be able to see that he is behind what Balrog is doing. He is behind what Vega is doing. And he will be the one who comes by to the aid of Sagat. And Sagat was the character we were talking before, like before the show. Sagat is the character that I see as kind of he becomes the villain. He doesn't start as the villain. He is the main fight. And it is that loss to Ryu that kind of drives him to work for M. Bison. Because of course he after he takes that L, and that kind of leads into how we get to Akuma and stuff by the sequel, that sort of thing. It is that fight with Ryu that changes Sagat. And then Bison will be the one like, I can give you the power you need to defeat him. And he just falls victim to that. So we have to present M. Bison at an earlier stage in the movie to show he's there and who he is, and, make him believable as a future bigger bad. But in this movie, there will be opportunities for him to like throw hands with people and show his Psycho Crusher and, his psycho powers, glowing fist punches and that sort of thing. But it won't necessarily have to be against the major characters, as it's not part of this story at this time. But Dominic Purcell.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so Ty, you're up. Who we got for M. Bison?
I got George St. Pierre.
Huh. Okay.
So you'll
You know what?
recognize him
I
being
could.
Baltrock.
I mean, I know George St. Pierre from
Fighting people in
UFC.
real life.
Yeah, like I know exactly who that is, and he did reprise his role on Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right.
He came back as Baltrock then. So okay, yeah.
But yeah, I think he is imposing enough that for all the fighters out there that are tough, he can take them down a peg or two. Like I think he just has kind of that imposing of, you think you're good? We'll see. I'm not sure how I envision him because I wasn't wanting him to go the traditional like dictatorship. So I'm not sure how I envisioned it so much as just he was the one that everyone else was looking for. So it'd kind of be like if we're doing the hero season, he's kind of in the shadow. You're seeing everyone else working around him. Some people are looking for him, like Chun-Li. Others have no idea who he is until the end, when everyone finally comes together. So I wanted someone who can kind of take them all on at once.
Okay. Yeah, I think you know what? That works. And with his athleticism and his, with his movement, I think we might actually get to see the psycho kick.
Sliding kick.
Right. We might actually get to see the sliding kick and the little head stomp, and he could actually pull that type of stuff off. Yeah, that actually works. I can. That is hilarious.
What's that?
Okay, let me see. How do I
just made a little visual illustration for those who are struggling to see the genius in my casting of M. Bison.
Let me see if I can.
See if that'll jog any of creative juices and support.
Oh no.
Okay, you know what? I have to share this for you all. I have to share this for you all.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I need to see this.
But you know what? It does kind of fit though. Like
Oh.
And you know what? I'm like it makes
Is this
sense.
the Phillips remake? Look at me. I'm the captain. I'm captain now.
That's him doing his promo.
Right. Come out this weekend to see me back in the ring. I'm with it. I'm with it. I see what you're doing. I'm behind that. Interesting choice, yeah, but I get it. All right, David, take us home.
All right,
M.
cool.
Bison.
All right, cool. So again, walk with me, take a stroll with me in my mind palace again. All right. So for M. Bison, I want somebody who is just who can just be generally imposing, not necessarily on a physical level, because we got psycho power. We can just teleport and like do axe kicks all over the place and shit.
Right.
Psycho crushers and shit, whatever, right? But I want somebody whose personality can carry, like, I want somebody who's charismatic but menacing at the same time. So for
That's why you also picked Will Smith?
No.
Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Top of the list. No. So for M. Bison in my movie, I'm going with Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily need him to be like a world-class fighter because all of that shit's gonna be CG'd the fuck to hell anyway. But I want somebody who outside of the fight is just scary to deal with. Like just impossible levels of intimidating. But also
I can see that.
putting on a smile, making with the calmest voice as well. You know, just like like I could have you murdered in a second, like something like that. Like,
Yeah, it's like, are you being nice or are you gonna kill me?
right? Yeah, exactly. Like,
Well, before I kill you, I'm gonna actually make sure your family dies and
exactly.
some of your friends, and then your dog. I'll bring him here to watch you die, and then it can die.
And the main reason I cast him as M. Bison is because I cast Karen Fukuhara as Chun-Li. And I feel like that interaction would have the most impact out of any casting that I could have done.
Yeah.
Just
I can
seeing like
appreciate that.
I could see her being just scared shitless as he's talking about what he did to her father. Like scared
The day M.
shitless.
Bison graced your village was the greatest day of your life. For me, it was simply Tuesday.
Exactly.
And I can see him big going into
with more menace, with venom dripping out of every
right
word.
there where he goes into talking about how the father begged for
You
his
took my
life
father from me. I don't even know who you are.
Exactly. Just I feel like those two would have the best chemistry as far as like just somebody who's trying to avenge their father versus somebody who just couldn't give a shit about you.
He plays such a good villain.
Yes.
And I actually just saw an interview he did in talking about he's going to be in the upcoming Indiana Jones movie, and he's if not the main villain, I think he's like he might be the big bad in that one. And yeah,
he looked like he came from an Indiana Jones villain factory.
right. But he's also done, like, if you've seen the movie Polar on Netflix, that one is it's a gun game movie. I mean, there's a lot of like pow. But he plays like a retired contract hitman kind of thing who's out of the game, and then they send a team out to take him out kind of thing. He takes out that team, and before long, everybody got to go. He just wants this small, little, quiet village. Just leave him alone, but they won't. And a lot of action in that. And he took out everybody. So, yeah, I could absolutely see him. And that one, he wasn't necessarily the bad guy. Well, he was a bad guy, but not the bad guy.
Right.
So I get how he could just be imposing. Hell, when I think about him from Casino Royale, like Le Chiffre.
Yeah.
Le Chiffre was like so calm. He was like, "Where's my money?" He's like, I don't know. He's wow. He's like,
yeah, it's got to be somebody where it's like this person is really not worried about nothing happening to them, and that's a different energy than every single other person in the movie.
Right.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So let's look at a final list. We will take a peek at the movies and see what we got. Go ahead and save this file. Boom, there it is. Open that up. It is there. So this is our FanCastIt casting of Street Fighter
2, Part 7.
Turbo
EX
HD
plus
remix.
15.
Yeah, like which one would this be? This is Street Fighter 48.
We should just make a bunch of Street Fighter movies and then put your own like suffix after.
I mean, honestly, we got 4 more movies right here.
Yep.
And it ain't got it. We got, you know what? We got 3 movies and a TV show, so we're good to go. We are good to go. And yeah, man, that's a cast.
We got to get Linda to give her official verdict. And what was your cousin's name?
Lanisha.
Yeah, we gotta get her back too.
We'll get True on here and True Story on TikTok. We'll get her on here and let her take a look at the casting. And
You know she's just gonna pick yours because Jonathan Majors is in it.
Actually, not necessarily, because I'm gonna tell you, she's gonna look up and see.
My
just looking at this.
My movie is hands down the sexiest movie of the 40s movies. Like, we're gonna have a lot of steam. It's gonna be a lot of slow scrolls like Baki.
That's crazy.
We doing all that.
Yeah.
Not like Baki. That's crazy. That.
Wait a minute, what you know about Baki? When you started, okay, you into the
man.
anime now? I like
You know
it.
what I'm saying? You
like
gotta do a little something every now and
I
then.
like
you
it.
know?
I like it.
Baki is like relating to anything to Baki is wild. Baki is on a whole different level. Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, these fights is cool, but damn, they be lingering.
Yeah, they have a lot of weird energy on Baki all the time.
It's like, do we have to follow this bead of sweat all the way down his body?
I'm not even talking about that. Like, just like there's 3 dudes in that show that is just lawless.
Yeah.
Can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
And who gonna stop him? Like, man ran up in the prime minister's office just so he could be like, you ain't shit.
Right.
Nah, bro.
You know what? This is yeah, man. I'm liking all of these casts.
Oh, and then I'm gonna say this. These are my final, these are my final villain matchups. So Ryu Sagat, obviously.
Right.
And then Ken and Vega, because they just having a pretty off. Like,
Pretty off.
like they fighting to see who the prettiest in the series gonna be.
Okay.
Then I got Guile and Balrog, because you know I'm so anti-racist. I'll actually show 2 black men fighting on screen just to prove that it ain't the end of the race. And then I gotta give Chun-Li the access to killing the final bad, just because I feel like her motivation is actually the strongest in terms of like beating Bison. So
yeah,
that's how mine would play out.
That works.
Even
in
though
terms
I know
of
most
story.
people will want Ryu to come in and it's like, nah, player, that's not this movie.
And see, in that same energy, that is why M. Bison is not my main villain in the movie. Sagat technically is, and it's a weird thing because it's like, although Sagat ends up being a bad guy, at the time he fights, he's not a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? He's just the best fighter in the world. And, you know, Shadow Lou is over here doing some other stuff. They're going to come and recruit Sagat by the end of the movie. Maybe that's our post-credit scene right there. And then in a final, like in a mid-credit scene would be where Sagat gets recruited. And then a post-credit scene will be Akuma coming to talk to Ryu, because in order to have the necessary power to defeat Sagat, Ryu had to tap into that dark side. And when he tapped into that dark side with that nice little uppercut, that's where the scar came from. And Ryu was like, I got to know what this is about. And he actually goes and he tracks down Akuma. But for the purposes of the movie, Akuma going to pop up and be like, oh, you see about that energy. And then he'll just be glowing or something. So, yeah, that'll be our Easter egg.
Fair enough. Well, my phone's about to die.
All right. Well, hey, look, man. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for the list. We're going to go ahead and wrap here. This has been FanCastIt Street Fighter. We have you will be able to see this list available in our group. So make sure you click that QR code right there. You can join the group. We'll put it up for a poll, and I will tag it. We'll pin it to the front page and get everybody to come and vote. Because I think this is one that's kind of interesting. We need to know about this one, because this is some different movies, and I want to know how this plays out. But I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. We've had a good time. You can find us on Wednesdays for Weigh-In Wednesday. Tonight was FanCastIt. For Jeff, David, Ty, and myself, we are Grown A Geeks, and we are out of here. Peace.